having good cleaners or having bad cleaners, it's more important than some people who starting out or who's thinking about starting out, they would think. So I've experienced amazing cleaners who I want to clone and never let go, cleaners who I cannot even believe that I lived without them. But I had cleaners which almost ruined my business. And it's, so I would say that when you, with that first point is, I mean, when someone's starting out or they're thinking about starting out with cleaners, if there is any chance and somehow go and check their work, not necessarily in the beginning, even later, because in the beginning everybody will do very, very good job because they know that you might pop in. But I've tested my cleaners later on, and after obviously receiving a few few messages from the guests, like, oh, we arrived and let's say they forgot something on the garden, so the first thing they see it's something, and I'm like, right, I'm going to start looking into this. And yeah, so having the right cleaners and spotting it on time and let the bad cleaners go, it's so important. I can't stress that enough, how important that is. But if you have a good cleaners, and then you have no problems. And having someone on the ground. So when I do lots of travel, and also my boyfriend, we still doing these long distance relationships for multiple reasons, children and our businesses at the moment. But when we are together, we can be together for 2-3 weeks at a time. So me being away from here and have someone on the ground, it's just so, that's why I can, someone who understands all the properties, someone who got a really good customer service, someone can step up for yourself or for themselves if something goes wrong or if something happens. Luckily, things don't happen like that. That's the word. But yeah, that's what I would say is important.
How do you find somebody like that? You mentioned somebody who can be on the ground. How have you found somebody like that?
Well, for me, for example, it was by having a cleaner for, so there was, in my first 2 properties, which one of them I don't have anymore. My contract ended, those are to rent. So basically, so for the first 2, I had 2 individual cleaners, and there was not company, nothing like that. There were 2 ladies, and they both had their own property. So that was like their baby. They were the best. They were honestly the best cleaners. And when one of those properties, basically when one of those properties, my contract ended and I've lost one of the properties. I wanted to keep the other girl, but there was obviously no more clean to the point that I realized that I could always count on her. When I was away, she was still my cleaner, and if something happened and I called her, no matter what time it was, she would go there, she would sort it out for me, no matter what time. And to the point that I realized that, Joanna, maybe you don't have to stay with me as a cleaner, maybe we can do something else together, because you never ever let me down. And because she never did let me down, we stayed working together, and I can fully trust her. I even helped her out the other day. She had real emergency.
The location is just so key, isn't it? And I know you've got some stunning views from some of your properties, which is amazing. So brings me on to the question of, what is your favorite thing about hosting and hospitality, and why?